Hey, everybody. So this is an extended type of testimonial that we have with our customers that have been with us longer than 4 weeks. And sometimes these come about because they've emailed us stories and we say, would you mind coming on and telling us that story in our audience? So that's how I believe this went. I think it went that way, Andrea, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I was sending stories of Piper and how hyper she's been.
Right. So Andrea is the human. Piper is the cute little dog there. I'm gonna extend. I'm gonna make your screen a little bit bigger so we could see Piper. Look at her. I mean, so tell us about Piper, age, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so actually Piper just turned 6. She's 7 pounds. She's a Morkie, so Maltese and Yorkshire. Very, very hyper dog, very smart dog, and not a great eater, obviously, because she's super, super little.
Yeah.
So
And then
yeah,
what were you seeing before we started? Sending you Gussy's gut. What was happening?
Yeah, so Piper was having a lot of issues. Like she was eating grass. We called her, she was like a little herbivore. She just would eat grass like crazy. Never threw up or anything, just loved eating grass. If she found rabbit poop, any other kind of poop, she would eat it. So, which horrified her siblings. So I was starting to read things on the internet about, I was looking into why this was happening. So we were trying to mix her food with some puppy food still to give her the extra protein and everything. And it wasn't making a huge difference. So as I was researching it, started really talking a lot about gut health, and just how eating grass and poop and all that is just a sign of poor gut health. She was starting to get kind of itchy in the paws. I tried some gut health, like probiotics and stuff, just from like through Amazon with not really good results. And she's little, so it doesn't take much to make her very sick. So, she wasn't doing well on anything. And then I met you and started her on the Gussy's gut, which was really good.
Hey there, this is Rob Ryan. I just want to say how much we enjoy making this content for you here. And if you are enjoying it, would you like our video down below? And would you subscribe to our YouTube channel? It sure does help us get discovered by more people like you who need information like this. And also down below in our description, the top link is to our trial pack. We hope you'll order one for your dog so your dog can have fermented superfoods that give them nutrition like they can't find anywhere else. Hard to get nutrients that are easily absorbed. Thank you very much. Now back to the show. Great. And so she was, we're going to go into the behaviors, but with the grass and the poop, the rabbit poop, but her energy, because you just said her energy is high now. What was her energy like?
We actually used to joke that she was, worse than a cat because she would sleep 23 hours a day. Like she was rarely awake. She just would find a lap and sleep, and she was just very happy sleeping. We had just moved into this house probably about it was a year this past October, and I thought, okay, maybe it's the new house. Maybe she's depressed. She doesn't know, she doesn't have a backyard to run in anymore. We go for hikes, I will say, because she knows the other word really well. So we go for a lot of those, and which she really likes, but she didn't have her backyard that she used to have. So we're right on a golf course here, so she can't just run on the 18th hole. So I thought maybe it was like a bit of just not sure about the new house. And then I started really kind of noticing all the other behaviors with, she wasn't super excitable like she used to be. She was just kind of, not really eating a lot. And the vet said, oh, it's okay. Dogs sometimes will go 3 days without eating. And I really started noticing her eating a lot of grass. Mm-hmm. So the grass and the poop or anything she would find. And that happened occasionally before, but it was starting to get worse and worse, and really started noticing, her energy levels have always been pretty low in the last few years, but really noticed it when we moved. So whether it was the move or just starting to notice her behavior was kind of, not as hyper as other dogs her age. So
she's only 6. I mean, she's a little dog. 6 years old is like big dogs, 2, 3 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So what is interesting that something you've just brought up is that you noticed a change when you moved. And then
Hmm.
you also said that you live on a golf course. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would look into, this is completely a sidebar. I'd look into calling the golf course, the grounds manager, because you're in
Hmm.
Canada. I don't know what they allow in there versus the United States, but I would just call the grounds manager and ask what they spray in terms of things to make, the grass green, all the things that make the grass look so amazing and
Yeah.
you want to live there. Also, are they using, Roundup or otherwise known as glyphosate and those sorts of things? Even if you're not on the grass up against it, your fence to the greens, there's something called drift. So, the things that they use to spray could just from the wind and um, the way the wind blows coming into you, it's almost like off gassing in a
Hmm.
way. It's
Yeah.
not the same, but it is similar. So that makes me very curious. I'm not suggesting that that's the culprit, but it makes
Hmm.
me very curious. And so the grass and all poop eating, whether it's a rabbit or chicken poop or cow poop or horse poop or anything, it's really a self-medication. Dogs are so great at it. They know they're a self-contained apothecary. Boom, they go right towards the foods and the things that they want. Um, and I'm so glad we can help. If you do have added chemicals that you find out from the golf
Hmm.
course, I'd recommend that you continue on Gussy's Gut, but you also incorporate something called Intelligence of Nature. That's a
Hmm.
.com. They're friends of ours. I use them. My dog uses them. They're amazing. Intelligence of Nature. What that is a humic and a fulvic acid that's alkalized for dogs, made for dogs. Uh, I've, I've been on it. My dog's been on it. My dog Gus has been on it. Oh, it's got to be 3 years now.
Okay.
It's just this. It's like water. It's tasteless, odorless. But the humic and fulvic acid is um, helps in a way that Gussy's does not. It works very differently, different mechanisms, and it works at the level of the junctions of the gut, tight junctions. So just think of the gut as like my fingers. And
Hmm.
when the gut's in an unhealthy state, they're not locked in. When they're healthy, they lock in. And so you want tight junctions in your gut and your dog's gut. And ion is a good strategy, as well as a super healthy diet, obviously,
Yeah.
and a little bit of fermented, whether you buy Gussy's Gut or make it your own. Do those things for yourself, especially if you have your own lawn service that comes and greens your lawn, or
Hmm.
gardeners that can spray. I'd suggest keeping away from that. But if you have
Yeah.
that, this helps you at your gut level, literally. So it's real helpful. So I'm thrilled that her energy's come back. She's starting to be her. I mean, this is what I would say is her true self. Her
Yeah.
pre-move, your pre-move
It's
self with
it's
her.
not even pre-move though. Like before the move, she would play a couple times a day. Maybe she would like have bursts of energy and just go crazy. There's like days, especially on weekends, where she just won't stop playing. And I think I actually messaged you. I'm like, okay, this is way too good because she won't stop playing and we're tired. Like we always have to play with her, and she'll grab a toy and just like run around the house. And so her energy is like threefold of what it used to be before the
Oh,
move.
yeah.
So yeah, we're noticing just massive differences in her energy.
Yeah. And there's no, for anybody who's listening, first time, never heard of us, there's no like, there's not even any vitamin B in high doses of any kind. There's no stimulants, there's nothing. We use a green tea, it's decaffeinated organic, but there's very little of it also in there, by the way. It's not even like, a full dose. It's just to keep and maintain longevity. And what that tells me also is, I mean, first of all, she's feeling phenomenal. That's the first thing I care about with my dog and our dogs that,
Yeah.
we care for. But also, it's a good sign for longevity because the behaviors that you're seeing now are, um, I want to say it very non-scientifically. If you're seeing this at 6 years old, that's very good. It's a very good sign for the years ahead. So it's I would say it's a good indication of how she's feeling, how her, her cells are firing, her mitochondria, all that stuff. And folks, it's, yes, our ingredients are great, but you can do this yourself. You can ferment on your own with really good ingredients. Copy our recipe. We say this all the time, especially if you're in a country you can't get this on your own, or you can't get us to ship it to you because of customs or whatever. Please just add a little bit of fermentation and watch your dog bloom. Yeah. So tell us, what does she weigh and what do you do? What's your regime for Gussy's gut?
So she's 7 pounds. I think she's up to 2 ounces now. 7 pounds, 2 ounces. She's super healthy. She's exactly the weight she's supposed to be. We always think she's, before her haircut, she always looks like, okay, she's putting on some weight. And then she gets her haircut and she's super skinny again. But she is where she's supposed to be. So that's good. So my regime with Gussy's gut, every morning when we take her morning hike at 7 o'clock every single day, I have to make her Gussy's gut ahead of time, or she'll actually stand there and look at me before we go. Like, she will not go out on her walk until she knows it's made, because I actually put some in a little glass. So I put her dog food in a glass, and I put the amount of Gussy's gut she's supposed to have per day, mix it with some water, and I let it sit on the counter because I know she'll eat the whole thing that way. So then we go for her hike, and it's about, 5, maybe 10 minutes tops kind of thing. And she's running back. Like, I can actually take her off her leash, and she runs as fast as she can back to the house. I come in, I scoop it all onto a plate for her, and then she downs the whole thing within 30 seconds. So I used to actually make it and then let it sit, like before we figured out to take her on a walk. I used to make it and let it sit, and she just would not leave us alone. She would whine and bark at like she just wanted it right that second. So we figured the best way for her to not be as annoying is to make it, take her for her walk, and then come back. It's ready to go, and then she eats it. So every single day she gets it. We haven't missed a day since we got it in July, I think it was, in 2023. And she's just like the changes. Like, I'm still seeing changes. Like, her eyes aren't as runny. I actually noticed the other day that she's not building plaque on her teeth, and I hadn't brushed her teeth in a bit, and I was like, oh shoot, I should be doing that. She doesn't have bad breath that she used to have, because it was pretty horrible.
That's the gut.
Yeah. And I noticed her teeth are actually whiter than they used to be. And that's not something you and I had ever talked about or I ever heard about that with gut health. But I'm noticing a lot of different things I didn't expect.
The thing about Gussy's gut, Andrea, is we don't ever pretend to be doing something miraculous at our company. We just work on very, very high quality product that it's, thousands and thousands of years old. The fermentation has been around forever. We all eat fermented things, even us, people that don't think they do. If you coffee, cheese, wine, beer, once you start talking about chocolate, everybody's like, yeah. So everybody eats fermented, some form or another. And we just want to make something really superior. And so our whole supply chain is really tight, like the farmers we buy from, all that. That's all we do. But we're not inventing anything new. We haven't done anything special except assemble a unique set of ingredients and made a formula. So we don't ever you'll never see anything from us in an email, an ad, nothing that says this is what it could do for your dog. We just talk about what fermented foods have been reported to do and stuff like that. We have a page on that, on nutrition, but that's it. It's not on our website. And the reason is, and the truth is, that every dog is so unique. And there's no possible way we could ever understand. Nobody will understand why one dog responds this way and another dog responds this way. It has to do with where they live, their epigenetics, their genetics, their diet, for sure. it has so many things. So we get all these emails all the time. Every week we get these. They sound something similar to this, which is, my dog has X. Can Gussy's got help with that? And we basically say, look, the only way you're going to know is to try. We don't know. We can't tell you it will. And we certainly can't and shouldn't. We don't want to tell you it won't. But because so many things come from the gut. And when we don't know your dog, if your dog, is really suffering in that department, all sorts of crazy, amazing, positive things can happen, including, by the way, dental. Any human dentist will tell you this, is your own dental, the amount of cavities you have, plaque buildup. A lot of it has to do with your microbiome in your mouth. You have a whole microbiome that's specific to your mouth, and then a whole microbiome specific to your gut. And your skin, by the way, is another microbiome. But so nobody can tell you, because we don't really fully understand what that microbiome in the gut and the mouth, how it interacts. I mean, it's
Mhm.
incredibly, phenomenally intricate and complicated. So we just go, great. Like, we just sit and we wait and we say about, 4 to 6 weeks is when the beginning results happen. I counted on my fingers. You've been at this about 8 months. So when did you start? Can you just try to remember when you what increments you started to see results? Did it take months or?
No, actually it didn't. So we noticed after maybe even at the end of the first week, maybe into the second week, that she just wasn't eating grass as much. So it was constant when we were going for walks. Like, she was always pulling, and she wouldn't leave the grass, and she would find like a nice patch of nice green stuff and just go to town on it. And we could not drag her away. She would actually lock herself. So we'd have to go and pick her up and move her.
Yeah.
After a week, if that long, that part was done. Like, she wasn't eating as much. She kind of occasionally, but it wasn't a struggle while we're walking. And then I started noticing, okay, walks are a little bit nicer for me. So she wasn't doing that as much. The energy, definitely, I noticed it probably after about a month. Then I started kind of noticing the energy, but it just kept getting more and more. I'd have to look back on when I actually sent the email about, like, I don't think we can have her on this anymore because we don't have time to play with her this much, which was really great. Yeah, she was just going crazy. It's just like, I'd be leaving for work and she'd have a toy in her mouth, and I'm like, I have to go to work. Like, we've already had 2 plays this morning. Like, I need to go. So yeah, so that kind of was after a month or so. I don't know when, it just doesn't eat poop anymore. So that was kind of nice. It was a very nice, we didn't have to like pull her away. Even now when we're walking, I let her sniff things. I don't have to worry that she's going to try and eat it. She doesn't. Yeah. So she doesn't roll or anything like that anymore, which she used to do a lot of. So yeah, and really she got very regular as well with her bowel movements. And that was probably after about a month. So I will say that I really worried to put her on it because she is so little. And I always say it takes very little to get her very sick. Even when we go to a cottage, we take her own water because she got very sick from water one time. So for me to trust it at the beginning, I will say it was a huge deal because she's part of the family and she's 7 pounds, and the littlest bit can really set her off. And I didn't see there's no reaction at the beginning. Like, there was nothing. I've never ever once thought, oof, they always say, oh, you have to get over, like, keep giving it to them for a week and they'll get over the symptoms of the beginning. Like, I kept getting told that by other products. There was nothing like that. I would have stopped immediately because it would have freaked me out, but no side effects. No, she wasn't off of her food. It actually helped her get more regular with eating because I always knew that she would eat what I put Gussy's gut on. So we don't put it on all of her food because obviously little dogs can get overweight as well. But we just give her that amount in the morning, and then she's good for just grazing for the rest of the day.
That's great. Okay, so that's what we see often is, some reduction in symptoms the first 4 weeks, first month. So not eating grass, and the poop gets, a more not only regular, but like a better form for
Yeah.
some dogs just have runny stools and stuff like that. We have a lot of dogs come to us with diarrhea, chronic diarrhea, which is a new thing I've never ever heard about until I started Gussy's Gut. I didn't know so many dogs had chronic diarrhea, which is super concerning. Um, but we really just have a gut, you know, issue in this country, and we'll say North America, um, and a lot of that has just to do with the chemicals all over. They're ubiquitous at this point, and unfortunately, I was just thinking about this morning. I was just had some quiet time in the morning, and I was just thinking how we're all now sort of unfortunately having to play defense because of the things in our environment. We read about plastics in our environment, and we also read about glyphosate and chemicals. And so it's really just playing defense. I mean, I was never doing fermented foods, and I make, because I'm the owner of the company, I can make a version of Gussy's Gut without cheese because I think that's disgusting. Dogs love it. We put a little bit in it.
Yeah.
Um, but I make it and I put it in my smoothies. And I don't eat fermented foods a lot. I'm talking about the sauerkrauts and that sort of thing, kimchi's. I eat them occasionally with the right things, but so I get that in my smoothie and stuff. So I do that with Ion, Intelligence of Nature, that product, and like I said, I put it in Gus's as well. And it's the way we play defense, unfortunately. And then you get the results like Piper's getting. So thank you so much. I want to keep this video short for people watching. And thank you for being willing to be a longer form testimonial for us.
No problem. This is great. Good information. So I'm going to definitely look up the Intelligence of Nature.
Yeah, they're good people too. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us, and please subscribe to our channel if you like what you watch. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.